Hey guys, Retro Gaming Guy here. So today in this video, we're going to unbox, demo, and review this product right here that I just stumbled across on Amazon and had to pick up. This is $59.99, and this is the RetroBit Retro Duo 8-bit and 16-bit retro video game system. This is version 3. It comes with 2 controllers, and this enables you to play NES and Super Nintendo cartridges right here on this system. It hooks right up to your TV via AV connection, so you can play your favorite retro game cartridges right on this in this 2-in-1 setup. So I have some NES and Super Nintendo wrestling games that I've collected for a number of years now. Don't currently have an NES or Super Nintendo. I did have an NES. It crapped out on me. I used to have a Super Nintendo a long time ago. That crapped out on me as well. That's one of the issues with having original consoles. You just never know how long they're going to last. And if you can't fix them yourself, it can be a money pit trying to get them repaired or then going out and buying new ones to replace them. And you have no idea how long those are going to last. So I'm excited to test this out. We're going to unbox this. We will see what it offers in terms of functions and features, and then we'll jump right into some games and see what the experience is like playing those original cartridges on this setup. Let's dive into it. All right, so here is the packaging, and I want to show you guys the backside right here because the backside does a great job of showing you every aspect of what this setup has to offer. So you have dual slots here for Super Nintendo as well as NES. You have your player 1 and player 2 connections right there, your power button and your reset button. Now, power button is going to be over to 8-bit and 16-bit, so you'll adjust that based on what you are actually using this with in terms of cartridges. And then we also have right here our AV and S-video ports, which are located on the backside. So that's going to be how you bring this up to your display option. And the only downside I'm noticing right off the bat is HDMI. This is not going to be HDMI compatible, but the good news is you can use an adapter that converts AV into HDMI, and that's what I'm going to be using today. So we'll go ahead and start opening this up. All right, there we go. All right, guys, so I've kind of separated everything out here just so it's a little bit easier to see everything. We've got 2 controllers. This is how they come packaged. I went ahead and opened this one up just because I'm only going to be using, obviously, one today. But we also have our AV and our S-video cable located right here, which you can easily use with that adapter, which will take the AV and turn it into HDMI. We also have our power supply cable. Now, this is going to connect over to this right here. Then you plug that, obviously, into your power outlet. That goes into the back side of the actual console. We also have our user manual here, which I do want to open up. And it comes in a bunch of different languages, which is awesome, depending on obviously where you are purchasing this from and, of course, what language you speak. But it does a great job of walking through all the ports and connection options here. Great troubleshooting page over here as well. In case you have any issues, you can get all the answers that you need right there. But the backside of the box is really a much better way of actually seeing it all, basically how everything works here. You can see your power button, which I have right here. So here is your power button. You'd bring it up to 8-bit in order to use this with NES cartridges, and then you'd bring it to off if you're going to shut everything off, and then down to bring it to Super Nintendo. You have your reset button right here, and it will light up to whichever cartridge you have on and which you have set this to. So 8-bit and then 16-bit. Backside has your port options back here. So your AV, your S-video, your power supply down here on the end. But all in all, very nice. There's ventilation on both sides of this too. So it is put together quite nicely. Very lightweight, very compact. I would say that it's not, it's not super high quality, but it's going to get the job done, I think. If you think back to an NES or a Super Nintendo, those aren't the highest quality either. If you drop them on the floor, they would probably break or at least chip. Same deal here. So you want to be careful with something like this, but it does seem to be well constructed for the most part. And then down here, of course, we have our player 1 and player 2 connections. So you would go ahead and you'd bring in your controller just like that. Plugs in very easily on here. And then let's take a closer look at the controllers here. So we have our D-pad, we have our A, B, X, and Y. Start and select in the middle. Shoulder buttons up here, L and R. Everything seems to be nicely put together. D-pad, very responsive as far as I can tell. Same thing with the buttons here. Are they, super, super, super high end? Not really, but if you think back to a Super Nintendo or an NES controller, it's pretty much right in line with those. I will say that the shoulder buttons, the sweet spot is closer on the outer edges here. If you hit right here in the middle, it's not going to feel as good. So, I'd say from the letter on the top to the outer edge is going to be the best spot to hit these. But all in all, it seems like a very nice controller. We're going to test that out, of course, with the Retro Duo. So let's go ahead and get everything set up and grab some games. All right, guys, we've got our Retro Duo here ready to go. We've got our controller plugged in. We've got the AV connections going through my adapter, which converts this over to HDMI in order to use it on this monitor. So we're good to go here. We got to bring some games into the mix, though. I'm an old school wrestling fan, so I've got WWF WrestleMania for NES, and I've got WCW Super Brawl here for Super Nintendo. So we'll start with NES here. This is going to plug into the back slot here. Just simply firmly press it in place. You don't have to jam it. You don't have to force it. And we're going to go ahead and power this on. In order to power it on into NES games, you're going to power it up. So you're going to slide this little slider here into 16 bits position. And we hear the audio. There's the video. We're good to go. So I'm going to jump in here and test out this game real quick. Let me flip over here to that side. All right, so Ted DiBiase is running from me in this game. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring this into the off position here. We're going to remove our WWF WrestleMania game, and we're going to bring WCW Super Brawl into the mix. This is Super Nintendo now, so we're going to use the front slot right here. Go ahead and plug that into place. And to power this on now, we're going to go into the 16-bit position, so we just simply slide that down, just like so, and it should launch our game. There we go. All right, guys, we jumped in here. We checked out the Retro Duo product, and I'm a big fan of what this offers. I like the convenience of this. I like that it's very small and compact. There's not a ton of settings and buttons that you have to hit. You have a reset button and you have a power button. You bring it into 8-bit mode or 16-bit mode. It's very easy to use. You have the S-Video option or the AV connection on the back. That's it. You can play your Super Nintendo and NES all from this one setup here. You don't have to go out and get yourself an original NES. You don't have to go out and get yourself an original Super Nintendo. It's an all-in-one setup here that I think is just streamlined and easy to use. It takes up virtually no space at all either. It's very compact, whereas an NES is going to take up a lot more space. Super Nintendo, same deal there. This is $59.99. Big fan of that price point. I think everybody can afford or work towards affording $59.99 if they want to play original NES and Super Nintendo cartridges. So I've had these sitting now for a while because I've had no way to actually play them. I can obviously emulate them, but that's a different experience. There's people that want to play on the original cartridges. That's how they, enjoy these games best. And this definitely will get you into that. If I'm going to be picky about things, the only thing that I would say is that I wish it had HDMI compatibility here. You have to go with S-Video or you have to go with AV. And you saw today, my monitors in my house, as well as my TVs, do not support AV connections. I think I have one up in one of my bedrooms that does have the AV connections, but it's not where I wanted to film today. So I just used a adapter converter that takes the AV, turns it into HDMI, and then from there I plug it directly into my TV or monitor. So it wasn't a big deal to do that. I'll actually provide you guys with a link not only to the Retro Duo up here at the top of your screen, but in the description I'll also provide you guys with a link to the adapter that I used as well, because I do think a lot of people will need that in order to use it on modern day TVs and monitors. So, in a perfect world, they'd be able to support HDMI as well. So maybe the next version of this, they will add that capability. But I'm a big fan of this. I think the price point is very fair, and it's well put together. It's not the highest quality of construction by any means, but when you think about it, neither is the NES or Super Nintendo. If you drop those on the ground, there's a good chance you end up with a chip or some damage to the console. So you got to be careful with it, the same as you would a retro video game console. So big fan. I'll provide you guys with a link at the top of your screen, as well as in the description of this video, for both the Retro Duo as well as the AV to HDMI adapter that I used today in this video. So let me know, though, in the comments what you guys think of this product. Is this something you would use to retro game on original cartridges, or is it something that you don't see a need for? Let me know in the comments of this video. You guys know the deal. If you enjoyed the content today, please give me a thumbs up on the video. And of course, Hit subscribe to stay in the loop for all future videos, right here on the Retro Gaming Guy YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. I'll see you guys real soon.